Just, just the word "ick" would be a good prompt.
Hey, you guys. We shall
Do we
call
have
the
to
meeting
start
to
the
order
meeting?
November 17th at 7:06 p.m. And the meeting is being recorded. Okay, welcome everyone to November's annual meeting. I'm happy to see you tonight. I'm Dawn Kovaleski, and this marks my last members meeting as the 2025 president.
Yay. Great job, Dawn.
Yeah, great
Mark said
job.
the year would go really fast, and it did.
Thanks, Dawn.
You're welcome. All right, but I seriously doubt you've seen the last of me. Okay, I seriously doubt it. All right. Since this is our annual meeting, we will not have a photo challenge slideshow today. I'll have to say, for one, this weekend I kept thinking I'm supposed to be doing something, so I did miss it. I missed doing it. I enjoyed your pictures and putting them together, so too bad. The next one will be on January 19th for our first meeting in 2026. Anyway, please feel free to ask questions or provide comments as we go along, but we need to keep them fairly short as we have a guest speaker tonight and he'll need to go on no later than 7:45. All right. This year we had 7 awesome board members. Bob Bergstrom is our president emeritus, and sadly he is leaving the board at the end of the year. Is Bob here? There you are. Hi, Bob. Thank you so much for all your work. Kathy Rady is vice president, and she will move on to be our president in 2026. I'm super excited about that. She is going to do a fantastic job. Tim Dallas is our treasurer, has been our treasurer for 2024 and 2025, and Tim will be leaving the board, and we are going to miss him dearly. Steve Long, or I guess Tim, you can wave too. Kathy, I forgot to ask you to wave, say hi. Okay, Steve Long is our secretary, and he'll remain as secretary for 2026. Is Steve here? No, okay. And then Walter Oliver headed up the Blue Sky Committee, and he will remain on the board. Thank you, Walter. There he is. Catherine Burge was on the Programs Committee, and she will also remain on the board. That left 2 vacancies. Thank you for all your hard work and volunteering for the many things that we offered the membership this year. I also wanted to thank Mark Fitzgerald, Doug Rundle, and Mike Osborne for their work on keeping PrintShare running like a well-oiled machine, because they did, and it was awesome. And we had like so many things that we had to troubleshoot, and we got it worked out. Not only that, you're great to work with. We just love working with you. Let's see. Now I would like to present our 4 board member candidates. As I call your name, please introduce yourselves and what position you are running for. First up is Grant Keltner.
I am running for vice president.
That's great. Thank you so much. And we definitely look forward to your ideas and working with you next year. Scott Shearer?
Yes, you have it right. That's rare. Scott Scherer, and running to help out as treasurer for this coming year.
Yay! Okay, thank you. And Roxanne Overton.
Yes, hi. I'm running for a committee position.
Excellent, and you will do a great job at it, I just know it. Our other member is Melissa Toledo. She is a candidate, and she is also going to be a board member / committee member. She's not unable to be here. She had a family emergency. So thank you for stepping up to be on the board for 2026. We really needed you. We look forward to working with you. The ballot email will go out tomorrow at 6 a.m. You have until December 1st to vote, and a reminder is set to be sent out as well, so you'll have a second opportunity to do that voting. It is important that you vote. It may not seem like it, but it is. In this situation, we still need to have votes. So just quickly open it, click yes, 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 or no, 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 and off we go. Okay. One of the major announcements that we have on the table tonight is that Print Share is moving locations. While we're sad to leave Multnomah Arts Center because we've been there for a really long time, they were not able to accommodate our needs. Rates rose significantly, and they were unable to provide us with consistently scheduled space. So we felt that it was probably best that we try to find another space. It was a gigantic job to do that. We required parking, easy on the budget rates, accommodations for a growing event because we are growing, and then something nice for everyone to enjoy. Tabor Space will be our new venue, and it's located at 54th and Southeast Belmont. I'll post a video of the space in the chat when I'm finished speaking. There's plenty of parking in the church parking lot, along with a beeline route right to the event space, which makes it perfect. You just cross the road and you go right straight in the door. You don't have to go through the building, go up and down the stairs or anything. So that's perfect. And we're going to put a little signage out there so you can just head in that direction. It is going to be held in the dining room. There are plenty of tables and chairs for socializing and viewing. The lighting is great. And because of the ceilings are low, the acoustics for hearing will be optimal for a change of pace. The higher the ceilings, the worse it gets. And so many of us can't hear very well. And I think this is going to work out so perfect. It's a really cozy spot, and we'll think you love it. We're also welcome to bring in food or drinks. There's a pizza place nearby if you want to order something to be delivered. We know that there are folks who like to meet after Print Share, and so we're suggesting Bellwether Bar, which is on Stark Street. It's about 7-ish blocks. I would suggest maybe carpooling over afterwards if you want to, and then you could be dropped back at your parking lot, or you can just drive over and do street parking. They have a nice little menu, a lot of variety of drinks, and it's super cute in there. And they have an outdoor space that they're renovating right now to include larger groups with heat and cover and everything. And that should be done by the time we're ready to take our meeting over there. And if you guys decide you want to
When
go
will we,
to the place to go, I will welcome you to do that. Yes, Grant?
sorry, when will we be meeting there? What month?
Oh, that will be every month for Print Share. And that was the first Monday of every month.
Got it. So
Okay.
when will it start there?
Okay, it will start on January 12th. We were unable to get the first Monday at the date that we were trying to book the place. So they booked us on January 12th. And
Got
so
it.
be properly notified of directions, what you need to do, where you need to go, all of that.
Are we going to meet in December at the Art Center?
No,
No.
and I will get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Well, we're talking about the date. There's the date on that. And we will hold one door prize raffle to celebrate. We'll share all the details in the email. So if you want to win a prize, you come in and get your ticket. And we already have the prize. And
That's
it's a
for the
surprise.
January meeting? That's for the January meeting or?
Yeah, but no, it's for the January Print Share will be
Print share, yeah.
January 12th instead of I believe it was supposed to be the 5th. Something like
Okay.
It is, that location is accessible by public transport. It's a long haul from where I live, but it's doable.
Yes, it is. It is, it's right on Belmont, so there must be buses and things running there.
Yeah, the 15 runs up that, up
Yeah.
Belmont.
And
So it's a
so,
good
Hannah, it's not
space.
too much further from your place to the MAC. It's about the same distance from your place to the Belmont address.
Is it
Yeah,
And
it's
what's across street there?
Belmont? Belmont and
54th.
55th, it says 54th or
Yeah,
55th.
yeah, 54th. It actually takes up the whole block. It's a church, and it's very cool in there. And they have a really great coffee shop and a place to sit and have coffee. They also hold art space, so we're kind of hoping that they talk to us, and they're totally willing to let us hang our art there. So there is so much potential here. There really is.
And the meeting place again, it's called what?
Tabor Space.
Tabor.
TABORSPACE. One word.
Wow.
Got it.
Tabor Space. It's in Mount Tabor area.
Got it.
So I'll put the links in the chat.
How does the cost compare, Dawn?
It's only $40 per hour. We were having the new rates at Mac was going to be, what was it, over $200 for the night? That's a lot.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's big. That's a good savings then.
It is a big savings. They more than doubled our cost on that. So we had no choice. We really didn't have any choice. And it's uncertain whether they're going to keep Mac going. So under all that, it was probably best just to move and start the new year.
I do the dark room at the MAC, and with the bond levy that just passed, that buoys them for like another 5 years, but it is pretty stressful there in terms of how things are gonna go, what their future looks like. It's there because it's all part of the Portland Parks and Rec department.
It is.
So
And they are terribly in debt.
yeah.
And they can't fix everything. And apparently the MAC needs extensive renovations.
Oh yes.
Extensive. So they are looking for partnerships and stuff to handle some of this.
Dawn,
cost.
this is Mike Burgess.
Hi, Mike.
Hi. So we can have food when we're sharing our prints in the auditorium or dining room or wherever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so if you want to bring food, you can bring drinks, but you can't bring alcohol, but that's another $40.
Okay.
But if we were to have a party
Yeah.
or something, that option, we could do that.
yeah, and
All
have,
right.
So one beer would cost us $40.
and we talked about there's a number of different restaurants in the area. And
Yes.
some of us were like going to them, testing them out, see how they are. And there's one tavern right down the street that has great food. It's a British, I can't remember the name of it. It's a British tavern, and they have a really good food and a really good atmosphere with big tables. And that's about the same distance as the other places in the area. And we also thought about maybe carpooling. If we leave our cars in the parking lot, maybe some can walk and some can carpool down and then go back and get your car afterwards. So just some ideas, but there's some really nice eating places in the
Yeah. I'll put the name of the bar in the chat as well. I tried looking them up online, but their server's down, unfortunately. So
Well, thank you.
It's-
So thank you to those of you who put in the work it must have taken to make this change happen.
I was involved with another club in trying to find another space on a couple of occasions, and it's really hard. So thank you.
yes, thank you. You're welcome. It was very hard. And I'll have to say, Kathy Rady bore the weight of that project, and she did wonderful. She made phone calls and did emails and did, visited and stuff like that. So it took a while, and she sent us on a wild goose chase.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun.
Had any place to park. So when we all found Tabor space and saw this really nice parking lot, and it has a loading zone too, so you can take all the
Yes.
easels right into the room, and it's so cozy. It's just got a really warm feeling to it. I think
Yes.
it was a special find.
Yeah, I've been to a few events there and it's a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
So will it continue to be the first Mondays after January, or is
Yes.
it going to be kind of shifting dates?
So it'll always be first Mondays like usual. It's just that one Monday was different. We are scheduled for the rest of the year, first Mondays, with the exception of Labor Day as usual. We have to skip that one. I mean, we have to, move that one to the next weekend.
Mhm.
But other than that, we are set.
Good for you.
Set.
Thank
Written in
you.
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy.
Oh, I had help,
Yeah.
lots of help.
You did awesome. Okay.
So are we meeting in December?
Yeah, no, we will not have a members meeting in December. We'll have a break because everybody's on holiday with their family and stuff like that. The only thing that we are doing is, which comes up on my next portion on the agenda, December marks our holiday print exchange. This will be held at Lucky Lab at the Multnomah Village on December 1st at 5:30 to 9 o'clock upstairs. This is for members only. The public is not welcome. A pizza and salad buffet will be provided. And Lucky Lab is giving us a bartender. And we don't have to pay for that. But since we are not sponsoring the drinks, please be sure to bring cash for your drinks and gratuity. So we won't be purchasing drinks, but we will do the pizza and salad. So this will be more of a party-like thing. And I think it'll be better than years past. We've got something fun to do and lots more socializing. It's a great space.
How many prints can we bring?
One. So what you do is you wrap your print in a mat, and then it's like a blind pick. So we put all the prints on the table, and then you can get your number called up. You go pick a print, and that's the print you get to keep. And then we will display them so everybody gets to see what their prize is. So it is an exchange.
Got it. Thank you.
Excellent. So, but if you don't want to do it, you don't have to, but you can still come to the meeting. There is an email that's coming out tomorrow with the details about that. There's also an RSVP. Obviously, we need to let Lucky Nab know how many of you are coming. So please fill that out. All you have to do is hit yes or no. And so that'll come out at 6:15. The voting email comes out at 6. So you can kind of look for that in your email inbox. Okay. Well, I finished mostly with my portion of it. So now I'm going to ask a few of our board members to recap some of 2025. So we will start with Tim, who is our treasurer.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I've been on the board for 3 years, and I'll be going off the board, as Don mentioned. I did a couple of years of the Blue Sky coordination, and then the last 2 years also as the treasurer. And I just found that it was really a good experience, especially for me being somewhat introverted, but it gave me an opportunity to interact with a lot of people in the club, and especially the board members. And I just wanted to thank all the board members from under Mark's presidency, and then also Bob and Don, and it was a great experience. So thanks very much. In terms of the treasury report, I'm not going to throw a ton of numbers at you, but I just wanted to go over a few of the high points. First, as far as membership goes, this year we currently have 121 members, which is up from last year. I think we had topped off at about 109 last year. We had 84 of those were renewals and 37 new members. So that was really great to get a lot of new members this year. The planned revenue from that was about $5,400. And because of the increased membership, we were able to, that increased our budget by about $672 for the year, which was helpful because we did go over in a few areas, which I'll talk about in a second. Most of our expenses, we were on target. Some of the things that we have to cover are things like our Zoom account, which is actually, that was new this year because we had used other people's Zoom account in the past, but we had to have our own for this last year. We have liability insurance. We have a nonprofit law firm that we pay to manage our nonprofit status, and also they pay our state fees for us. We have Squarespace accounts that covers our website hosting, a Google account, our domain name registration. Let's see. We have our constant contact account for our, managing our mailing lists and our distributions, and we have a PO box, post office box that we have to pay for. The areas that were somewhat of an exception is the space for our print share meetings, which is, was the MAC, and the amount that we're going to pay for Tabor space is basically about the same amount that we were paying for that room 30 that we've been using for years, but it's a much, much nicer space, and it is half the cost of what we would have to pay otherwise. The only thing I had to do this year is we normally pay for MAC split over the year. So this year we paid for the second half of it earlier in the year. I was going to pay for the second half about now, but I paid for the full amount for the Tabor space for next year. They don't split it. We had to pay for the whole thing up front, but that helps secure it for all of next year. So we had to spend about $750 more this year than we had planned to, but we're all set. The other thing is for our webmaster, we invested a fair amount in updating the web page this year, and I think it's much, much better than it had been in the past. We also now have a web designer and manager that we pay a fee to. Usually it's about an hour a month that she puts into it, and that runs at $90 an hour for her, but that's been working out pretty well. So we'll have to budget a little bit more for next year for that. And then some of our expenses we did invest because the print shares are so valuable to everybody. We bought some new easels this year. I bought 3 earlier on, then we bought another 3 because some of the old ones were kind of rickety. And what else did we do? That was pretty much it. A few other odds and ends we had to pay for. But anyway, we're pretty much on target, and except for those other areas, and we have enough in our savings account to cover that. I don't anticipate, even if our expenses go up a little bit, I think if we maintain our membership level that we are, we're probably going to break pretty close to even each year based on what we expect to be able to pay for.
Tim,
yeah.
what's the balance in the account?
The actual bank account balance right now? Hold on a second, I can give it to you. $11,855.14.
And is Ray's daughter doing the web?
No, we have a woman, she's actually in Indiana, Lakin Creative. Sarah, I don't remember her last name off the top of my head. You know, Dawn?
Lakin.
Yeah, it was Lakin something. Anyway, yeah, she has a company, and she's been
really great to work with.
Yeah, really good to work with.
Is she like local in Portland, did you say, or she's somewhere else?
She's actually located in Indiana.
Oh, wow.
But she's very responsive.
She used to live in Bend and in Portland.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah, no, she emails me right away. She's right on top of it. And when I ask her to do something, she does it that day. And it's just really, really nice person.
Yeah. And Scott, by the way, we'll be meeting probably, if not before, at the very beginning of the year, because there's the transition between treasurers is a little more complicated. I've got a lot of digital files and hard copy files to transfer a lot of things to explain, and then we also need to go to the credit union and get new cards and things like that. So we'll be talking. So
All right.
any questions by anybody? I can give anybody a lot of numbers if you want to know exactly how much things cost, but I just thought an overview was a little better. So
That was really great. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim, for all of your hard work on the board this year and keeping our money in the straight and narrow. You did a great job, always. Next up, Kathy Rady. We'll talk about the programs and outings we had this year.
Okay, everybody. I want to thank you, first of all, for all of you that have helped creating our outings. And we had quite a bit of help and suggestions, and that was wonderful. And I think we had a pretty good year. I'm just going to review it quickly just to give you an idea of some of the things that we did during the outings. In February, we went to Battleground State Park. March, we went to the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum in McMinnville. In May, we went to the Dalles Mountain Ranch, Columbia Hills Historic State Park. June, we had Breakfast on the Bridges. July, the St. Paul Rodeo. Let's see, August, the McCall Waterfront Park. September, let's see, in October, we went to the Portland Japanese Garden. And I think we missed one of those months, but that's pretty much what we did. So we're looking forward to next year, and we're also looking forward to any suggestions that any of our members have. We're open. So if you have some good ideas on where to go for an outing, that'd be great. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Oh, and programs.
Programs. Okay, programs. I don't know how much detail you want on all of this, but we had really great speakers this past year. And we had some really good PPF members that participated and volunteered to speak. So that was really great. But January, we had Carolyn Jing. She did amazing aerial photography, and we had PPF member Mark, I hope I pronounce this right, Saucerwald.
Oh, yes.
Sauerwald.
Sauerwald.
Did portraits and scenery of surfers. And then our PPF member Roxanne Overton, she did a wonderful presentation on, and she's a very accomplished photographer and a visual storyteller specializing in ICM. And then Carla Christian, a PPF member, she showed her work on some alternative photographic processes. And it was a wonderful presentation. Julie Moore, she did a creative, evocative style of art. And she's been a photographer for many decades. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Couple decades. Sorry, Julie. You're very creative if you're listening. And then Mike Osborne. Mike's striking images of Death Valley and sand dunes was a wonderful presentation also. And then Raina Stenson in May. Rita's been living in France for the last 7 years, and she's an international award-winning photographic artist. And that was also, she happened to be in the States, so she didn't have to do it in France. And then our wonderful PFF member, Johanna King, she captures the world around her, and she has outstanding portraits. And then Jared Decker, he works for Photo Canvas, Canvas PDX, and he produces fine art prints and loves to share his knowledge. So we got to enjoy his presentation. Mike Peters, street photography. Photographs tell people who tell a story. And then Rita Silen was a member, and she's an accomplished creative photographer who tells stories with her camera and always leaves you wanting more. and Philip Hernandez, surfing photographer and journal a photojournalist, and he showed us surfing and portraits of people. And then Megan Eubank, another PPF photographer. She's a graphic designer. Her creativity shows through her photography. And then Lauren, who's also a member. As you can see, we've got a lot of great members who volunteered to show their work, which was really special. But Lauren did a beautiful collection of his black and white and color, which is always wonderful. Then Mark Fitzgerald, he had an action-packed presentation on bicycle racing and the portraits of people who participated in the events. I'm almost finished. One more month here. October. Paul Cunningham, accomplished photographer who shared his adventure doing tours in Alaska. So thank you all for saying yes to participating in our Monday Zoom meetings. Any questions? We're looking forward to next year, this coming year. It's going to be, I think we're going to have a lot of opportunities to find some good photographers to present their work. Everybody.
Thank you, Kathy. Oh, do you have a question? Did I hear that? Nope. Okay. 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 Thank you, Kathy, for everything you did this year. Your work behind the scenes is immeasurable.
Thank you, Don.
Absolutely. Okay. Finally, Walter Oliver will talk about the Blue Sky Gallery.
Hello, everyone. So for those of you who don't know, we have a relationship with Blue Sky Gallery, which is a professional gallery in Portland specializing in photography. We have the privilege of having a community drawer dedicated to PPF, and we have 2 people in 3-month shifts are able to display 6 to 10 images in those drawers. Right now, we're booked through February of 2026, but if anyone is interested in exhibiting some of their work in the community drawer, please let me know. Be happy to get you on the list. And the second thing that we do with Blue Sky is the library wall exhibit. This year we did environmental portraits, and we had really good participation, and I think it was a very successful exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
I should mention, originally we had said that the you could pick up your prints, those of you who participated, on December 1st, but in order to minimize the impact on the gallery, Kathy's going to pick everybody's prints up, and they'll be available for you to pick up at the print exchange on December 1st. Some of you have already let me know that that won't work for you, and we'll be in touch. We'll figure out a way to get your prints to you. Bob Himes, I think I saw you on the member list here today. I haven't heard from you. Please let me know if you can make it on 12/1. Otherwise, we'll figure out another way to get you your print. Any questions? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Did a fantastic job on this. It was a lot of work. And we really appreciate you keeping our relationship solid with Blue Sky, because they're really important to us. Very, very, very important to us.
Thank you.
And we've already been working on next year with almost half the year filled up with guest speakers, which is really great. We're ahead. I think we're waiting on confirmations, but we're almost pretty locked in for 6 months. And so we're excited about that. Nothing like getting ahead and doing things ahead. So it really minimizes the impact of learning how to train the board and all that. Also, we were going to be looking into possibility of start out with a couple workshops and some more exhibitions at different venues. We've spoken to different places, so we have some really great opportunities for us, and we really are hoping to get more exhibitions because we want to get out there and show our work. Okay. And I think that's just really great. And as far as workshops go, this is a great opportunity for people who want to teach a class and start at a really low level. I don't mean low level, I just meant start somewhere with people you're familiar with and, limited amount of people. And it's a great way to get started on teaching. If that's something you're interested in, please let us know. We haven't set up the committee yet, but we will be discussing it in January. Okay, thank you, everyone. That wraps up the annual meeting portion. If there are no other questions, we'll go on to the guest speakers. So anybody? Last chance today.
Thank you, Don.
There will be
Thank-
more chances. Thank you,
Thank-
Johanna.
Thanks to everybody who served on the board this year. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You.
Welcome.
Good job, Don.
Thank you. Okay. So for tonight's guest speaker, we have Hugh Sakols. He will share his underwater photography journey, first using Kodachrome and then transitioning to digital. He will discuss the fundamentals and challenges of underwater photography and how it differs from land-based photography. So Hugh, you may go ahead and take it away.
All right. Thanks, Don. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started with this. I'm Hugh. I've been taking photographs since I was 12. But I love nature and landscape photography. But what really piqued my interest in the natural world was through scuba diving. And we'll get started here. Okay. This is me this last April, just to kind of get you acclimated to the underwater world. So for me, and I'm going to turn on my timer here because I want to make sure for me, it all started when I was 14. I was like a little fish. I wanted to dive, and I was, could hold my breath a long time, and I finally got to go. At 14 years of age, this guy here is still a buddy of mine. It's funny, we're still friends. At first, I did get certified when I was 15, 1980. And at first, it was going underwater in Monterey and Carmel, cold water diving. I got together with a bunch of spear fishermen from my dad's work. But I'd also go with my friends. And this is what was on our mind at the time, being 16. So, but when I was 16 years old, I found I got an old Nikon 2 camera here. And I first started shooting Kodachrome and then Ektachrome with this setup, all manual. One thing that's important is this little extension here is these are extension tubes. And the bracket shows where the area of focus is. And I had 3 of these brackets. In fact, I still have them. So that was the world of underwater film photography. It's amazing. I could get anything. And at first, my images, started looking like this, which this was pretty cool being 16, 17 years old. I I became interested in invertebrates and sort of the Steinbeck story of he was friends with a marine biologist who lived in Cannery Row and who collected these specimens out there. This is a jeweled emerald snail. Again, I would just hold my strobe in I would shoot and I would place it in like 3 different positions and take the one that was best exposed. Pretty crude. Oh my gosh, it just Monterey, Carmel, and even up around here is really beautiful and diverse and just fascinating. This is Aeolid nudibranch. You can think of it as nude gills. And the bright colors being it's probably not going to taste all that great. They can absorb stinging cells of anemones. Sea urchins. But again, most of this all is close up, macro. This is night diving with Spanish shawl. I lived in Yosemite for 25 years, and so I kind of strayed away from diving in general. But one of my friends in Yosemite was from Monterey, Pacific Grove, and he is an amazing free diver. And we planned a trip to Hawaii with his kids. And at that time, I could not go without a camera, and I was not going to bring the Nikonus. So this is not the one I brought, but it's similar. I only had one strobe, and I had a much smaller port in the front. And on this trip, all we did was free diving, so I really did not use that strobe at all. I wanted to be lightweight. Whoops, that's trying to see. Why won't that go forward? Oh no, I'm getting the spinning ball. Let's see what that means. Oh, this can't be happening. I'm so sorry.
You can't click the photos below to advance?
Let me see. The problem is it's just
Your mouse is moving.
oh, there we go. I know. Let me go out of share and then come back and see if that helps. Darn it. Let's see. Let me hit one down here. Okay. I'm going to stop the share real quick.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
share
that's a
that.
good idea.
I am still getting the spinning ball. The only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to quit the Lightroom, force quit it, and reopen it. So we'll do this. Yeah, it says it's not responding. Force quit. Sorry about that, folks.
That's okay. That's okay. It happens.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hugh, just breathe. It's happened to all of us.
technology. Okay, and all right, I'll continue with this. Oh, let's.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, do that. Yeah, sure.
Have you ever heard of Judd Groshong?
No.
Underwater photographer from Hawaii that I grew up with. I wasn't sure.
Oh, wow. Okay. When I think of underwater photographers, I think of okay, here we go. David Duplay. Just amazing. Another one is Alex Mustard. And keep in mind, I am learning. So I'm like, this is, if you really want to see some beautiful work, check them out. Okay, I think we're up and running. When I got a new system, ports are really important. And I'm going to just go over the basics of underwater photography.
You need to share the screen.
Oh, yep.
Sorry.
I know. Okay, minimize. Let's see. Let me minimize. All right, there we go.
We got it.
Okay. So these are ports that you put on your housing, and they're really important. Ports are designed for specific lenses. This is a flat port on the left. The middle of it is my first dome port, and the right is the dome port I'm using now that I've done over 100 dives with just this year alone. When photographing underwater, there are some issues. And the first one is that light is filtered with the longer wavelengths first and the shorter later. And after even 15, 20 feet, reds, you start losing them. And so external lighting is really important unless you're in really shallow water. And actually, I prefer underwater photography in shallower water. This is when you have a flat port. Let's see if I can make it bigger. No, I'm not going to mess with it. What happens is you have refraction. And so if your view is, this is the air here, this is the water here, this is your port, here's my camera. So if you got a 35 millimeter lens or a 20 millimeter lens and you're used to this wide view, all of a sudden it's narrower. And that was a real problem early on. And what also happens are objects appear closer and objects appear about larger, about 25 to 30%. I wear glasses and for some reason now, I do not wear glasses when I'm underwater. And I think it's because of this. Just briefly, and these, I realize some of these are out of order. I'm going to just go with it. One really important thing is proper strobe placement. And this wedge here, this black triangle, is a shadow area. And this is important, as I'll show you, because when your strobe fires, it will hit particles in the water that bounce back and create spots. And we call that backscatter. So a very, very general rule is to move your strobes as far away from your camera or the lens as your subject is. So you're always tweaking your strobes back and forth. And that's just, there's other things as well. It's not just that. Now a dome port actually acts as a lens itself. And a dome port does not have the diffraction that a flat port has. And so you get to preserve your field of view. The port itself actually generates a virtual image that is maybe a foot away, or it's very close to the dome, even though the actual image is far away. So dome ports, if you're shooting wide, you got to have a dome port. So here's the challenges of underwater photography. Water's denser than air, the light absorption, refraction. And the fourth thing, I'm going to add 5 too, particles in the water. There's all sorts of stuff in there, even in the clear water. And 5, I'm going to say currents. A lot of times when I'm shooting, I'm in a current. So how do we get optimal images? Get close, get even closer. When you think you're close, get closer. Use your proper strobe placement, have really good, perfect buoyancy and trim in the water. And that takes a lot of practice. And don't kick up the sediment. So I had the opportunity to go on this last year. Since moving to Portland and losing my last parent, I decided to do something insane. And I'd always wanted to come to Indonesia and dive in what's called the Coral Triangle. So my wife and I we're on a live-aboard boat for 16 nights, going from North Sulawesi Island in Indonesia all the way to Komodo. It was about 950 kilometers. And along the way, we were kind of off the beaten track, diving some places that the captain of this boat had never even been to. And then after that trip, I realized, oh gosh, I'm just learning. So I went back, and this time went to a place called Raja Ampat, which is considered one of the most diverse places on the face of the earth. Like over 1,600 species of fish alone. Okay. This is from Hawaii, and I'm sorry, they're out of order right now. I'm going to just keep going. This is shooting without any flash, dome port. My first one in Hawaii. Again, no flash, just free diving. We started swimming with spinner dolphins. It was just amazing. The key is to stay put and let them come to you. And as you can tell, Moon Jay in the bottom right is just an incredible free diver. He's got the big long fins. And we're in like over 100 feet of water there.
Nice.
Of course, as you get closer to the surface, the lighting gets much, much better. And these are coming quite close. Well, then I had to go back to Yosemite, so I continued in the Merced River. So here's Yosemite. There's a little creek by my house I'd go to. I'd go to the swimming pool with kids and I get this sort of thing. And Mike Osborne would help teach these kids to swim. So I figure they're kind of like, you know, little creatures in the water. Lots of fun, lot of clear water. So, and then, you know, I went back to Monterey, Carmel, and this is the sort of stuff I got. Now, if you go in the water without a strobe, this is when I first arrived in Indonesia, my strobe wasn't firing. You know, you got it. It takes a while to get everything in sync. So it looks like this. Again, it's a little out of order, but another important thing about underwater photography is you've got to have your diving down. And some people think we breathe oxygen. We don't. We breathe air, but I'm breathing enriched air. So I have 21% oxygen I'm breathing now, but this is 31.5. And that's so I get less nitrogen. The problem with having more oxygen, though, is you get oxygen toxicity. But by diving this way, it's safer. I can stay down longer and shorter intervals between dives. And there's the setup on the boat. And this was the boat we were on for over 2 weeks. My poor wife, she's not a scuba diver, but she did do some snorkeling. And this is what we saw down there. Absolutely stunning. The diversity of coral alone was just mind-boggling. Barrels and, you know, all of it. Every square centimeter of space, there's something growing. Incredible sunsets. All you would do is get up, dive, come back, have breakfast, go out and dive again, come back, have lunch, take a quick nap, go out and dive again, come back, have dinner, you know, and some people would go for the night dive. This is North Sulawesi Island, incredible. This, again, soft corals.
What is the condition of the coral in Indonesia?
I will show you. It is, it's not like it was 20, 25 years ago. Luckily, the government is super open to protecting what they have. And I'll give you an example of reefs that have been ruined. Part of it is also climate change, but the big part is fishing, cyanide fishing, bombing fish, using nets, depleting the resource and destroying it, using cyanide. So on this boat, on the big boat, we get on smaller boats to, you know, to go to our dive sites. So it might be these pinnacles you know, off of an island. Indonesia is made up of thousands of islands. It really took me a while to work on this strobe placement. You can see where there's a bit of the flash in the top corners. That's part of the issues with, I'm using a fisheye lens that's 180 degrees. Again, to get optimal images, you want to get as close as you possibly can. This was the boat we were on, the Pindito, the first liveaboard in Indonesia, built 30 years ago. The guy who operates it is a real character and really goes out of its way to protect this resource. Has done so much for preserving the area. Macro photography of coral. So many different types. We go out to a place like this and we dove the back of this island. And another thing, we had to go down really quickly and get behind these walls, and I didn't go fast enough, so I got swept out by a current and came up like way out here. Luckily, the dive guide came with me, and you know, you got to just be calm. You're just riding it out. But it was a wild ride. On the boat, I finally got to, you know, be around, you know, some professional photographers, people who just, this is all they do. And so thus began my education into this new form of photography. Well, it really is out of order. This, we went to one island where there was a freshwater spring, and you know, it was super clear. It was just nice to be in fresh water. It was much colder than the ocean. The ocean was like 82 degrees. Ridiculous. Darn, I'm gonna see if I can, yeah, oh, bummer. Okay. I'm gonna keep going. You ran into kids, just people. And some of these areas did not get a lot of visitors. So I'm interested in schools, being a retired teacher. This was priceless. Getting to I sometimes would snorkel with my wife. This is way out in the middle of nowhere, like this atoll. There's nothing for miles around in this shallow water, but as you can see, there's just not much here. These areas have been on the sides where it drops off on the atoll. There's damage from where they drop dynamite. And keeping, you know, people are poor, and this is how they make a living. So I saw a lot of this. So really, it's the areas that are being protected that have the diversity. The good news is that areas that have been protected, it is booming with life. The diversity, everything's coming back. We take out from the boat, the big boat, and go from there. So, you know, first the guide would go down and say, kind of make sure we're in the right place, and also test the currents. Like, One thing I try to do is first set the ambient light. And then the strobe. So there's two things operating with wide angle, your ambient. So I try to expose maybe 2/3 of a stop, lower than what the meter says, and I'll meter off of middle blue. And then from there, get my strobes going. I'll go back and forth from TTL to manual. Most of the pros, they're all shooting manual and having more control. But the TTL these days is amazing. Cuttlefish. Okay, this is backscatter. So this is due to, first of all, there's particulate in the water, but poor strobe placement here. Luckily, there's software that now can remove it, but it's always best to, get it. I'm not saying every photo looks like this. It doesn't, but this was just, this is a real challenge in the water environment. I like the shallows because you get these sunbeams and you don't need as much strobe power. This is diving at night. Not that you can tell here, but you'd see some things that you wouldn't see in the day. This is on it's like some sort of a echinoderm, like a sea urchin, with a whole community of fish within its spines. Pufferfish. So you can see I got some backscatter in there. It's gorgeous stuff. I had a whole school of these swim at me and like come right between, on either side of me, it was amazing. And I started following them for like half a dive, just everywhere they went. When you have your macro lens, you don't worry about the ambient light. You just turn it to, it's much easier exposure-wise. These are clownfish. Colors are just insane. Moray eel. And you're getting really close. I mean, I'm very close to it. Sometimes shrimp there's a shrimp to the right, and they'll crawl in their mouths and start cleaning inside. Lionfish. This is a type of sea urchin that those fish were swimming in. What I like to be on trips that are photocentric. These guys, they knew how to work with photographers. You can see cameras being strapped on. They take the stuff down All we do is bring our fins and mask. When you're done diving, you gotta wash your gear in fresh water. And people shout at you if you throw something else in where it says camera only. That's just for cameras. Before you go, you want to have a dive plan. And so get an idea of what you're looking at, the depth, and generally we talk about which direction the current's going to be going. So you might be coming down here and say, I'm going to drift around, you know, to the left, and the boat then will pick us up on the other side. A lot of it was diving along these incredible walls where it would drop off on, you know, another couple of 100 feet. And so again, buoyancy is key, and keeping track of your depth and air. Sometimes there'd be just hundreds and hundreds of fish, just outrageous. Balls of fish. And I just like the way there's just so many tiny little fish darting through the coral.
Can you talk a little bit about composition? It seems like you bring, in some ways, a non-diving composition flair. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay, interesting. I am struggling I'm shooting fisheye. All I brought is a fisheye lens in a macro. I'm using an Olympus system. There's a tendency for me to center everything, which, you know, we think of the thirds rule or whatever. I was really struggling in that I'm just looking at the back of the camera and I don't have a good viewfinder, and the viewfinders are super expensive. I'm always trying to look up and getting low and kind of looking upward. And there are times where you're just, you know, with your neck is just, it becomes really physical trying to position oneself. And there'd be times where there's a current maybe taking me towards this. I come in, shoot, then swim back around against the current, and then come back at it again and do it like 3 or 4 times. So here I'm looking more up, you know, here it's more down. I don't know, I love the landscape, and if I can, I want to frame it in something that, in a way that's interesting to me. I think what's really important are the backgrounds, just as in land-based photography. And the direction of the sun, believe it or not, was super important as well. This is Bon Air. You'll notice it looks, these are sponges. That's a sponge. That's some sort of mollusk, snail-like thing. But my gosh, this is doing macro work on the edge of a sponge. And just all the little details. Fish details. Some of the guys on this trip they were getting these tiny little blemmies coming out of holes, spitting out sand. I mean, the level of work, it was mind-boggling, but it takes an incredible amount of patience. There'd be times I'd go alone by the pier and in Bon Air, and I'd be down for 75 minutes, 80 minutes in shallower water. And you just kind of feel you're at the end of the day, you've been down for hours trying to do some more abstract work.
And Hugh, you're manual focusing all the time?
No, I am autofocus.
Okay.
I use the back focused feature. So I focus hitting the back button, and then recompose.
Got it.
I did some experiments with using also a single strobe, just shooting straight down. I love this one, but it's a little hot, and that just takes practice. And this was manual exposure. But when the balance comes together, it's just great. And sometimes you'll notice things that, maybe you didn't see before. These are Gregorian fans in the Caribbean. This is diving under a salt pier. And it's so diverse with fish. I'll show you the salt pier again. Of course, it's out of order. There it is. So,
What a shot.
it's amazing. Yeah. It seemed like the fish always, it's really hard to get those shots where they were looking towards you or not away from you, which it's much easier to get. Sponges, and I'm not sure what the red stuff is. I think it's a sponge.
Now, do you always go down with a partner?
Yeah, but underwater photographers are horrendously terrible buddies because they're self-centered. And no, it's when you're doing this, it's you're really on your own. You got a buddy, but you don't want to be right next to your buddy. And so essentially, you need to be really independent. When I was in high school and I was diving, we would all go down and go in separate ways. But technically, you should dive with a buddy. So this is one of the dive guides, the dive master. One woman got pictures of turtles eating these. This is my dive buddy. So, and I don't know, I think he put like $18,000 in that rig. He's got a Z8 and the 105. Well, here I think he's got a 14 to 30 lens on that because he's got the big dome port. There's the boat above. And I think my highlight of Bon Air was this ball of fish that just came right towards me. I got third place at this thing called the digital shootout. And for the wide angle category, I got third place with this. So,
What shutter speed do you use? These fish move very quickly, don't they?
yeah, but shutter speed is when you're using flash, it's not as important. And believe it or not,
Right.
I mean, I had to act quick here. So I believe this is 60th of a second. I mean, ideally it'd be faster. So if you look, maybe there's a little blur where there isn't light, but where the flash hits, I mean, it's lightning fast. Behavior's great, you know. Here, it's exuding pufferfish. So I think this one, I like the closer, but I think I like this one better than this one just because it's doing something. This is my rig. The light here shows that I've pressurized this and that it's holding pressure. I put my dive computer right on the arm because you need to pay attention. When I went down for the ball of fish, I got down over 100 feet, and that's where you gotta like know when to back off. Also, if there's something that's all of a sudden 30 feet above you, you can't just zoom up. You're always thinking about safe diving and avoiding, you do not want to get decompression sickness. This is diving a wreck at about, the bottom is 100 feet there. And this is just looking out. They're so far away that, the strobe really doesn't help.
So Hugh, you said that you were diving at 200 feet?
No, that the deepest I've been this year is 125. So, and when I was that deep, it was pushing it because I had to worry. I was breathing nitrox, and that's like I was at the limit where you can get oxygen toxicity. So it was, and there was a horrid current, and I didn't get the shot I wanted, but it was like, I'm moving up, slowly and moving on. I'll get to that one. A haul of a.
If you hit 125, how long does it take you to get to the surface? How long?
Well, you should come up 30, let's see, for 30 feet a minute is the advised time. So I've gone up faster than that, but as I get older, the key is to, maybe I'll be down, if I'm going deep, like I'll be at 90 feet, I'll stay there for if 15 minutes, and then get into 80 and then kind of level out there for another 5-10 minutes, and then get into 70. You see, then you see something that's down below, it's like, I want to shoot down there. It's like, no, it's a bad choice. Trumpet fish. So over and undershot with the big dome. These are tricky. And this is Bon Air. Christmas tree worms. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Kind of gives you an idea of how we get out. Here you could just go down at night, just grab a tank and go. So this person's night diving after dinner. He does have a buddy. Or she. I was just so tired at the end of the day. Try. I wanted to give her this is Tavara and Raja and Pot, and she just has perfect trim, perfect buoyancy. One workshop I was at dinner, they'd say, how many of you have lost weight? And not meaning like weigh yourself. It means, did you ditch some pounds on your weight belt? And I did. You know, I would like, hey, I'm going to take another kilo off. I'm going to take another kilo off. And when you get it right, you really feel it. Soft corals. This is Raja and Pot. I love this one of my favorites. Again, you got to be careful, like strobe positioning, you know, it's kind of getting hot here. So there's situations where if one strobe is closer than the other, it's you want to move the positioning of the strobe or lower the intensity of lighting on one side. And all this is easy to say on land, but when you're underwater, you need to develop it as a habit. You can mean well, know what to do on land, but not enact it underwater until you get a lot of practice. Piers, I love piers. There's always tons of fish. This was the dive where I was 125 feet, and I wanted to get these guys sweet lips, but and I'll do it again, hopefully next year. But this is Rajan Pot. This is a grove of mangroves, or a mangrove. But just getting close to the roots, you know. And we put yoga blocks and tie them to our housings, so to help with the buoyancy, you know. And this is a game of dipping your lens in the water and then bringing up real quickly, and as the water shears off, taking the shot. We would put like, you know, the stuff you put on your, ideally you put that stuff on that you put on your windshields to so that the rain doesn't stick and bubble. People put it on motorcycle helmets. We used a lens, the stuff we put on our lenses on the inside, so that it doesn't fog. But I've seen people actually lick their dome port. They're sitting there licking it. Yeah.
What kind of, Hugh, what kind of temperature differences are you experiencing, you know, like from surface, and then when you go down 125 feet, that's a long ways down.
Not much. The difference is you'll notice we're wearing wetsuits, and you really probably don't need it, but I just don't want stuff brushing up against me that's stinging or whatever. And you're down there for a while, but as you go down, your suit compresses and becomes less warm. So most of the time, like here is probably, 50 feet. This was like the most beautiful day. This guy just positioned himself, like came right by me and sat there. It's like, oh, thank you. After hundreds of shots. This is a shark. I just went blank on its name, but the textures on its skin.
Epaulette shark?
No, it starts with a T. I'll look it up. I had it all before, and
are you in any areas that great whites hang out?
the worst part is being in Monterey. When I used to abalone dive on the Sonoma coast, and we get out of the kelp forest and then have to go to like a reef that's way out there. And those times I would definitely be going, oh man, I don't like being here. So, but I was not at all worried here. And I'll try to wrap this up because we're getting really close. This is diving a wreck, P-47 bomber. The guy who first started this resort first came to find wrecks in ones that no one else, discovered new wrecks and even found remains in them. And then they would provide closure to those families and bring the remains to back to the United States, to the families. I love this. These are anemone fish. I didn't know the anemone was green. It was, when I was down there, it just seemed kind of grayish. And I'm shooting a bunch here because they're moving all over the place. On my very last day, I forgot to charge I thought my strobe batteries were charged and I lost power, and this is just available light. And that's what Rajampat is. Tons of little islands, just gorgeous. These are blacktip, blacktip sharks. And they don't bother you. This is where I stayed in Rajampat. And then there was, the town where we left from to get there. People said, oh, there's nothing there. Well, I spent the day walking around. And I was just blown away by how kind the people were, and they were truly interested in me and what I was doing. They wanted me to take their picture, and I said, well, I don't have money. Like, no, we want you to take our picture. I love this guy, especially. So when I go back, I'm definitely gonna hit the streets again. And this is a picture I took up in Washington, in cold water with a dry suit on. And that's it. I will get out of this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Loved your work. I just like, you wouldn't think that black and white would be really cool with such a colorful scene under the sea, but your black and white pictures are super intriguing.
Thank you.
Positions and it's just like amazing.
I really like the one with the salt pier. That's
Yeah.
neat.
Yes.
My
Yes.
favorite was looking up at the boat with the stairs hanging down into the water.
Yeah.
That's got to be really a unique shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had an exhibit of these images anywhere?
No, I mean, I'm just learning. So I'm
Learning.
trying to
Oh, yeah.
figure this
All
out.
right.
It is so frustrating, but I don't know. I love the diving, and the challenge.
Yeah.
of,
Have
uh,
you printed any of your images? Have you printed them?
Yes, yes. I just made a big stack of ones, many of what you saw that I've been printing. So yeah.
I want to see them printed.
Okay. Yeah. And I would do the black and whites. One really hard thing are the color shifts and color balance. And I'm partially color blind anyways. But that is just, you get these, I would use like a warming filters, diffusers on my strokes, which would somehow it balances the background, but sometimes it would look like too purplish, or sometimes it would look kind of aqua kind of color. I just seems there are times it's just off, and it's like just make it black and white. So
They're incredible.
so anyways, thanks for looking at my work, and I'm gonna in January I'm going for 2 weeks to Cuba, and I'll be diving with
Oh.
silky sharks, and crocodiles.
Oh,
But there'll be other
man.
stuff, so that'll be
We may not see you next year.
Yeah,
Right.
fingers crossed for you.
yeah. So
wow.
no, they've done this multiple times, and it should be a real adventure.
What's your favorite animal to swim in with and photograph?
Gosh, I mean, there's something about dolphins that are just, they're intelligent animals. So I'd love to, dive with whales. People have told me about that, and just how there's just an awareness there. Like they know you're there, and they look at you, and they're intelligent creatures. So I was mostly, with the fish. I guess my favorite are the nudibranchs, the little aquatics, little snails.
I love the nudibranchs.
Yeah.
And
Anyways.
that's our water too. I mean, we
Oh
can.
yeah, our waters have in fact, Jacques Cousteau says one of the most beautiful places in the world to dive is up in British Columbia, a place off of Port Harding, Vancouver Island. They call it God's Pocket. And one day I would love to go there. So very colorful. Anyways, I don't want to keep you folks up too long.
Well,
But
thank you.
yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
So
Thank you, Hugh.
and I will get there to one of the print chairs, but I guess we're not doing I'll, if I don't, and I won't probably be here in January. Cause I
How
will,
about the Lucky Lab on December
Yeah.
1st?
Yes,
December 1st, okay. Yeah,
yes.
try to make that, yes.
Print one of those for the.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like the score one, yeah.
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 We're all going to keep an eye on where you put it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
print that one with the dive,
yeah,
with the stairs showing, and I'll bribe you to
okay.
tell me which one it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely spectacular. Hugh.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Super
And
nice.
yeah, again, I feel bad. Like I had them all in order,
Oh,
and then it just
would have never known the difference. It was
Would-
perfect.
No,
But I figure,
Great.
yeah, it's more yeah, you get an idea of what underwater photography is about, and what's going on there. But there's a kind of a whole world of just underwater photographers.
Mhm.
So you know, just do some searches and you'll see people are doing amazing stuff with macro photography where they're capturing these behaviors that are just they're incredibly patient. They'll just sit there. When I was in Bon Air, we would kind of all take off in different directions, and there was a sandy area, and you're not supposed to touch the bottom, but it's like if you're in the sand, you know, and you're not like being super destructive and kicking things, you might have your knees just touching. And you would look around and everyone's on their tummy, just fixed, waiting for like action with their macro setups. And it was hilarious, just cruising around and this person's here, this person's here, this person's here. And that's the one time I felt start getting cold because you're just sitting in one place, waiting for that fish to stick its head up for just a second and then, you know, disappear again. So you just have to position yourself and be ready, be at the right place at the right time. So
Well, feel free to hang out with those underwater guys, but come back to us.
yeah. And I want to be back out at, I mean, I really love the landscape photography. That's my I just love it. But if I can do both,
Why
even
not?
better.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions before we close the meeting down?
Do have one quick question. You may have mentioned it already. The I don't print, but I'd like to try to go to the print share. Is that fine if I don't bring one, don't participate in the exchange?
Yes. So if you don't want to participate in the exchange, you can still come to the party. Okay, you are invited. You are a member, and we love you, Megan. So yes, you may come.
I like the idea of knowing how printers work and doing all that, but it's not something that fits in.
It takes a little while to get the hang of it. I'm still doing it. It's just, but
Yeah.
so I get it.
I'll try. I need to move some things around, but I'd be interested in going.
Well, black and white's the easiest.
Yeah.
You have to worry about color correction and stuff like that. So, okay. Anyone else?
Well, I'd like to say that it's hard to find a place, and I think it's a good choice for chamber space for next year's meetings. We looked at it many years ago, and things just weren't quite ready, but now they are, it seems like. And just down the street, a couple blocks away, is the Horse Brass Saloon.
Yes.
And that's worth a stop after a good meeting.
Yes.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yep.
I think that we can have a lot of fun and different places to check out, and it is a great space. It's kind of fun to walk around there. It's very interesting. You know, there's lots of rooms, lots of interesting rooms. So That's cool.
But we picked the best room.
Well, yeah, we did.
No, I'm excited. You're at chose or got Tabor Space. It's a neat
Mhm.
place.
Oh,
So,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, great talk, Hugh.
Okay. Well, thanks
thank you.
everybody,
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
thanks. This was a good exercise for me to really look at all that, look at my work, and
Yeah.
sort through it. So,
Right.
well, I will. I'll contact you if I'm making the meeting, but I will on December 1st, and I hope to do that, or the printed exchange.
Great.
So,
Okay.
okay.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Carol.
you.
Good
We'll
night,
see you at the holiday,
everybody.
Princess Age.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks.
And thanks to whoever invited